Shah Mohammad Reza Pahlavi of Iran was the Shahanshah, the King of Kings. His absolute power over the Iranian government had been consolidated since 1953. He was a man of grand ambitions, a ruler obsessed with projecting Iran's greatness to the world. And in 1971, he conceived the most extravagant party in modern human history, one that would ultimately cost him not just a fortune, but his entire dynasty. Near the tomb of Cyrus the Great, the Shah planned to celebrate the 2500th anniversary of the founding of the Persian Empire for 3 days, from October 12 to 14, 1971. He wanted to show the world the new face of an ancient empire, a modern and proud Iran, a nation of oil and civilization. As Empress Farideh later wrote in her memoir, the celebration was part of the royal family's campaign to prove that the Pahlavi era was a period of renaissance for Iranian civilization. The chosen location was the ancient ruins of Persepolis, the ceremonial capital of the Achaemenid Empire, standing in the open desert some 60 kilometers from the city of Shiraz. It was a breathtaking and deeply symbolic choice. It was also, practically speaking, in the middle of nowhere. Iran in 1971 did not have the hotels, roads, or infrastructure to host 60 world leaders and their enormous entourages. The Shah's solution was characteristically bold. He would simply build everything from scratch. The tent city, also known as the Golden City, sprawled across 160 acres and took 1 year and 37 kilometers of silk to construct. Since Iran lacked a sufficient airfield nearby, the Shah had to build an entirely new airfield in Shiraz, and a new highway connecting it to Persepolis, 50 kilometers away. The Iranian Air Force was enlisted to haul goods back and forth between Shiraz and Paris over 6 months. French interior design firm Maison Janson took its inspiration for the tent city from the legendary meeting between Francis I of France and Henry VIII of England at the Field of the Cloth of Gold in 1520, as well as from what ancient Persepolis might have looked like before it was lost to the desert. Each tent was no ordinary structure. The 50 individual tent suites each contained 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, an office, and a lavishly furnished salon that could accommodate 12 people. The royal village also included golf courses, billiard rooms, football fields, and pavilions for tea parties for the first ladies. And because the desert offered no natural beauty, the Shah imported it. 15,000 trees, plants, and flowers were flown in from across Europe, some from the gardens of Versailles, to create a lush, artificial oasis. To fill this oasis with sound, 50,000 songbirds were flown in from Europe. They couldn't adapt to the extreme desert climate, and within days, every single one had perished. Guests dined from a special dinner service of 10,000 plates, commissioned from the English manufacturer Spode, each decorated in turquoise and gold with the Shah's coat of arms. The official toast was raised with Dom Perignon Rosé, 1959. 600 guests dined over 5.5 hours, earning it a place in successive editions of the Guinness Book of World Records. The serpentine table for the guests of honor was almost 70 meters long. 125 women had spent 6 months embroidering the tablecloth. The organizer had fortunately brought 20 kilograms of Nescafé, which was quietly served in big kettles to the assembled kings and presidents. History delivered its verdict with cold precision. The opulence of the celebration and the stark contrast between the Shah's lifestyle and the poverty of his people fueled growing resentment. It galvanized the opposition and became a symbol of imperial detachment from reality. Just 8 years later, in 1979, the Iranian Revolution swept everything away. The Shah was deposed and driven into exile. The tent city at Persepolis was looted and burned. Mohammad Reza Pahlavi died of cancer in Cairo in 1980, in exile, largely forgotten by the world leaders he had wined and dined so lavishly at Persepolis. Almost none of the kings, presidents, and emperors who had enjoyed his generosity came to his funeral. The man who had promised Cyrus the Great that Iran would always stay awake had lost his throne and his legacy to the very party he had thrown to secure it.